The Utah Mammoth is sorta proud to present Nashcast.
What the is a Nashcast?
Nashcast, the only hockey show on the planet. Hosted by a human speed bag, fourth line wannabe, healthy scratch, schnozzy moto, Tyson Nash.
Who the hell is Tyson Nash?
Never heard of him.
And the baritone with a brain, the velvet hammer, Mr. Silky, Tono Suave, the radio voice of your Utah Mammoth,
Go Blue!
Mike Fultz.
Oh, Captain, my Captain!
Nashcast begins now.
Ready for takeoff.
Here's Tyler Ganoush and Mickey Foghorn. Wait, what? Oh, here's Tyson Nash and Mike Fultz.
Wow, welcome back, Fultz. Unreal, man. What a weekend. Labor Day, extended weekend. Everyone loves that. We know what that's all about, right? I'm on my dock right now, Fultz. I gotta tell you, full disclosure, I'm stealing his Wi-Fi. I'm still going through a build, right? Again. Sleeping in my boathouse. Woke up the other day. I think I mentioned that or showed it on our Instagram account. Woke up next to a giant slug, right next to my cheek. That is not what you want to wake up to. I can tell you that. I don't look good in the mornings, but that was next level.
It's become a thing where every week I just really look forward to jumping on. And yeah, we talk a little bit about hockey, but most importantly, I get to hear about how your boathouse isn't finished yet and how you're sleeping in these slug-infested dungeons. So I hope this never ends. I hope that this is just kind of a stick or a part of the show that is like, maybe it's a segment we do, get a sponsor on there. Maybe like a general contractor could come in and get some sponsorship dollars. But
the one I just fired. Yeah. Let's get him. Let's get him on the show. All right. This build's been taking like, I don't know, 2 years. I got no running water now. At least we had cold water before. Now I have no running water. So what you see behind me, Fultz, that's how I shower. I lather up, head and shoulders, soap all over, and then I jump into the lake, lather up. It's been a rough stretch. I'm surprised I'm still married. That will test any marriage building. So hockey season, let's go. I cannot wait. Can't come soon enough.
It's crazy, Tyson. We play NHL games this month. Like, we're going to have preseason games in the month of September. We're going to have rookie camp coming up. We're going to have so much to get to, so much to talk about. And like, actual hockey is literally on the calendar for this month, which is awesome. And it gets me thinking back to last year, Tyson, because we've been doing this for a few months now here over the summer. We've had a blast. We've had so many awesome shows and interviews and crashers. But last year when you got this started, you had enormous guests come in right off the hop when you were doing these Nashcast altcasts. You had guys like the commissioner, Gary Bettman. You had Jeremy Roenick. You had Chris Pronger. Like, as we start this kind of year two of NHL in Utah, like, think back to last year's Nashcast. What were the moments that like stood out to you from that first wave?
Well, Fultz, I can tell you the biggest moment was the first show, right? The first show, getting it done. I cannot tell you. I mean, you get butterflies, right? When you do a broadcast, radio, TV, it doesn't matter. Those don't go away. Same with hockey. When you play, the national anthem's going on, and then you kind of settle in as soon as the puck drops, right? It was kind of like that for the first ever Nashcast. I was so nervous. I needed a new pair of shorts. That's for sure. I think I sweated right through my my brand new hoodie that they gave me for the show. But as we moved along, it was incredible. And the best part of the show, Fultz, is doing the deep dive into research, right? Learning more about guys that you grew up with, that you played with. But you still, when you dig in a little bit, what you find out, and everyone has that adversity story, right? Everyone has that kind of come to Jesus moment where the light bulb just goes on. And you're right. I mean, we had some unbelievable guests. I think we had like 10 or 11 Hall of Famers. We had Chris Pronger. We had the commissioner that doesn't happen often. I can tell you that. Gary Bettman joined the show. The best ever American-born player, Mike Modano. I mean, how great was that? And then we had Jeremy Roenick. on the show. Certainly a highlight. He was one of my favorite players as I played growing up as well, watching this guy, just the show that he was in himself, right? He shed some tears on the show, believe it or not. I don't want to spoil you. Hopefully you go to Nashcast Official on YouTube. Hopefully we're going to do some flashback Fridays for all those big shows that we had, but the Crashers, Paul Bissonnette coming in, Jamie McLennan, and then my good buddy Kelly Chase, still in the fight for his life right now with his cancer, what he's going through. But just some incredible guests. I can't wait to get started, Fultz. Last year we did 9 shows. This year we're doing hopefully 12. That is the I guess the scoop behind the scoop. So again, Ryan and Ashley Smith, thank you. It's been just an incredible ride.
That's going to be awesome. So what you said, 10 shows coming up here. Those are the Nashcast altcasts you can watch on Mammoth Plus. They were such a blast to go back and watch. They're all, the highlights of those are all compiled on our YouTube page. So go back and check those out. But Nasher, hockey season getting dialed up here. You've been busy beyond just your typical Nashcast research. I know you're always in the mines digging for nuggets for these interviews, but you were also in some different interviews with a different show. You're not leaving us, are you?
We're spreading the love, Fultz. That's what we do, right? I mean, you give the people what they want. And you can put it on mute, just like you probably do and should with our show from time to time. But I did Spitin Chicklets the other day. Not sure when that's going to drop. But I just love those guys, right? The biggest personalities in the game, if you ask me. Paul Bissonnette, Keith Yandel was on the show. So just so much fun. Yans, I played with Yans back in the day in San Antonio, Man Antonio, we call it. But it was incredible. Just the stories were flying, some old ones as well. But again, there's so much fun. We had a lot of laughs, and that's all I miss, right? I don't miss getting beat up every night. I don't miss playing at all. I miss the stories. I miss going out for dinner with the boys, having a glass of wine, and just shooting the breeze, right? That's what it's all about.
I was listening to that show when it was just Ryan Whitney and Rear Admiral, who's not as much a part of it anymore. But now you look at it, and Keith Yandel is a regular on the show, and it's kind of ballooned into something that, like, I couldn't have imagined that it would turn into, a decade ago or those years ago when I was listening to it. And you've been on multiple times, right, Nasher? I mean, you're a repeat offender.
I am. That's a good way to put it. Hopefully, you always kind of forget what you said, right? Because you're just caught in the moment, and you're just, stories are flying, and you're just, my mouth never stopped talking. It seemed like. So hopefully, I didn't bury myself too bad. But yes, I've done a sandbagger. We're looking for a repeat, a redo for the sandbagger. That might come down the road. I'm going to hopefully talk to Ryan Smith, who is an absolute stick, owner of the Utah Mammoth, to join me. Hopefully, that works out on one of his unbelievable courses, because free for me is what I'm all about. That's my favorite F word. So hopefully that happens. But yeah, I was on the show a couple times now, and the sandbagger, and it wasn't pretty.
And I believe we're going to have one of those Chicklets guys on the show coming up. Not this show, but in the near future, we're going to haul one of those guys in. So you were clearly able to work your magic.
Yeah, always trying to work. That's the worst part of this show, right? It's like herding cats, trying to get guests, trying to make sure they're prepared, make sure they're on time, right? And they can download the app. And we had some app issues too, doing that Spitin Chicklets show. So it's no different. As big and monstrous as that show is and popular, we still had some issues. So it made me feel right at home, made me feel good, because we know what we go through.
Well, let's get to our guest for this show. Just an incredible interview with an incredible young man. And you talk about, sometimes it's like herding cats for an interview, and you gotta, convince a guy to for this time and what have you. None of that with this kid. Fantastic young man. We had a blast talking to him. It's an American hero, Shaeffer Gordon-Carroll, Utah's own. He was playing with Team USA over in Europe at the Hlinka Gretzky Cup. He's playing in the WHL. He's going to be a force, and he'll be draft eligible here in a couple years. And it'll be interesting to see if the Mammoth take a run on him if he continues to improve and prove his worth. But Tyson, we had a great time with this kid.
No, we certainly did. And it's a no-brainer, right? After that interview and just talking to him and how just personable he was, right? Unreal kid, good looking kid, by the way. Great flow. I mean, he epitomizes what a hockey player is all about, right? He looks like one, he talks like one, and I'll tell you what, he plays like one. I did kind of a deep dive into some of his videos, his highlights. This kid's 16, and he acts like he's 20. Real well spoken. So just an incredible kid, and we got the interview right here. Well, Fultz, we're back. Another great show. We got an unreal guest here, a young kid, 16-year-old kid, Utah, from Midway, Utah. Played his hockey growing up for the Junior Grizzlies, the Outliers, out in Provo as well. Moved away at a young age. This guy has done the tour. His journey, super, super unique. So let's welcome Shaeffer Gordon-Carroll. Welcome, buddy.
Hey, guys. Thank you for having me. Appreciate
Welcome
it.
in, man. You're in a car right now, and what? You just turned 16? Like, do you even have your license yet?
Yeah, just turned 16. Actually got my license during Christmas, so I can get to drive around here now. So that's pretty nice.
Look at the flow, Fultz. That right there is hockey hair. All right. So our women followers, I mean, we're going to be blowing up here. I know it, but I got to ask you, Shafe. So your journey, obviously very unique, but you're in Medicine Hat right now. So I grew up in Edmonton. I played my junior hockey in the Western Hockey League for the Kamloops Blazers. But when you told your family, your friends in Utah that you were going to Medicine Hat, what did they say? They're like, where the hell are you going?
Yeah, they honestly had no idea where Medicine Hat was. And it was basically just tell them, like, do you know where Calgary is? And they're like, oh, sorta. I'm like, yeah, it's 3 hours south/west or east of Calgary. And they go, oh, okay. And I'm just like, Montana, just right above Montana. Oh, okay. So they're like, okay, now I kind of know where it is, but to be honest, they have no idea where Medicine Hat is. So.
Yeah, unreal rink, Fultz. I can tell you that this rink rocks. It's brand new. When I played there, we used to call it the Smarty Box, and they had the toughest teams on the planet. Definitely out east. It was a scary place to play. You walked into Medicine Hat, you knew you had your hands full. And I don't think things have changed much there in Medicine Hat. Tough teams, well coached, and just a fine-tuned machine. Talk, Shafes, about your team last year and how good you guys were. You won the WHL championship.
Yeah, we're an amazing team last year. Our leaders were a really big part of it. We had some absolute studs on that team. And I got to learn a ton from them last year as a rookie, and they honestly did such a good job leading me and teaching me how to play in the WHL and what I need to do. And then obviously the coaching. Willie, Joe, and Josh are absolutely amazing coaches. They know what it takes to win, and last but not least, definitely the fans. Like you said, it's a hard place to play because of our fans, and it's enjoyable. We enjoy it as the Tigers, but it's not enjoyable as the other team. So,
well, you just won a gold medal with Team USA at the Hlinka Gretzky Cup. We'll get to that here in a second, but you were talking about the leaders in Medicine Hat with that championship team this last year. One of them had to have been Gavin McKenna, I would have imagined, who a lot of people think is going to be the number one pick in this next NHL draft. What was it like playing with that guy who seemed like he was putting up 3 points a night?
Yeah, it was amazing. He makes everybody around him better. He always makes the right plays too. If it's the pass, the higher percentage pass, then he'll make the pass, or his scoring ability, like everything about him. He's just overall really good, and he's even a better person. He's a great leader. He's great off the ice, and he holds himself accountable and holds everybody else accountable. So, I learned a ton from him, and I look up to him.
My son played in the WHL and played a lot against Oasis Weisblad, your captain last year. This guy has got to be the all-time beauty. I watched this kid. He's absolutely fearless. He's like a little bowling ball, Fultz. He's built like a fire hydrant in everyone's face, in everyone's grill, but he can play too. I think he put up over 100 points last year. But just talk about what maybe you learned from your captain last year.
Yeah, obviously he's our captain. He was a 20 last year, so he played in the league for 5 years. I probably looked up to him the most last year. He helped me a lot, and him being a center and me being a center too. I had to ask him about face-offs, and D zone, and he helped me a ton. And he's a little wrecking ball. He's got a little fire in him, and he plays a little bit of snot. So a little bit of snot and balls. And he's honestly he's awesome. He's gonna tear it up this year in the A. So
Playing with a little bit of snap. I like that. I saw his brother Ozzy when he played in the AHL, and they did a story that came out. I think there's like 4 or 5 of the Weisblatts that were all raised by I think a single mom.
Yep.
Schaefer, did you hear that story? Or Tyson, did you guys hear that story? Because it was one of the like more touching hockey stories of sacrifice that you'll ever hear about. But it made the kids seem like really down to earth and really grateful. Is that kind of what your impression was, Shafe?
yeah. So actually, both his parents are deaf. His first language is actually sign language, which is pretty cool. So he grew up, you know, uh, sign language, and his brothers, and he's got a little sister too. They all hang out and sign with each other. Like when we were in Spokane, I had lunch and at Chipotle with him and his family. Ozzy's a great guy. So is Orca. And then obviously his mom's amazing too. So yeah, just a great family, and he's a great guy, and he definitely got it from his parents and his siblings.
All right, take us way back. I mean, big reason you're on the show, right? I mean, you're a Utah boy. I mean, you grew up in Utah, born and bred. Just talk to us maybe about the hockey experience. I know you're a very unique story. You moved away at a young age. I think you're 11 or 13, off to Colorado. But just growing up in Utah as a young hockey player. First of all, how did you get into it? Because that is a basketball town.
Yeah, so my dad actually put me into it. I was a pretty fiery kid when I was younger, like 4 or 5. Had a lot of energy, and when you're 4 or 5, you can't really be put into any sports. And when my dad was looking to put me into sports because of my energy, he couldn't find anything because I was too young. But at Peaks, you could put me into learn to skate, because you can learn to skate when you're 5 years old. And my dad's like, all right, well, he's had a dream of his first kid being a hockey player, and it kind of just put us into the ways that hockey was supposed to be my sport. So yeah, I just started skating at 5 because there's no other sports for me to play.
And look at that, Nash. He had the flow going from an early age.
Oh, I know.
Too.
Look at those flip flops. I mean, that is a little hockey player if I've ever seen one. I think you got elbow pads on in that one. So you must have been banging up against the brick wall there. The garage door, that was always a parent's nightmare, because the ball marks, right? You just rip balls up the garage, the net. Who played goal for you back then?
My little siblings. When I turned like 10, I put my little brother in that, and he was like 5 years old. We play shinny downstairs, and I rip a few, and then he'd start crying, so I hit him in the head. So then that stopped really quick.
So you were playing down at Peaks Ice Arena in Provo, is that right?
Yep.
So when did you kind of get the feeling that like hey, I'm pretty good, this might be a thing where I want to move away and develop my skills even further in these hockey hotbeds like Chicago and then in the WHL?
Yeah, I'd say around, because I played up for the Grizz. I was playing with 06s, and I tried out for the brick team, but I didn't make it. That's a great story.
That hurt, eh? That stung.
Oh, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
As an 8-year-old, that stung a lot, and but I had to talk with my dad, and I wanted to be better. He wanted me to be better too. So sadly, hockey in Utah wasn't the best fit to develop. So we stayed in Utah, and then I played in Colorado when I think it was my first Pee Wee year. I think I was 11. So me and my dad would drive back and forth from Utah to Colorado every week for practice and games. Yep. And then I got recruited by the Mission from Colorado.
Gino Cavallini, that's my boy.
Yeah,
what a program!
I love Gino. Great program, great guy. He runs it so well. So I'm from Colorado to Chicago, and then I was in Chicago for 4 years, and then my family moved after my first year. So
Oh, incredible stuff. So were you surprised? And if you were, I mean, how excited were you when you found out the Mammoth coming back then, the Utah Hockey Club, but the Mammoth now? What do you think about the logo, and what do you think about having a hockey team in your hometown?
Yeah, I was so excited. I was all about the hype when I started hearing Utah was wanted a hockey team. I was like, wow, like Utah, like I'm down. Like I love it, and you know, the name and the logo is honestly great for the city and town. I love it. And it kind of fits the new the new Vegas Knights logo. Everybody was kind of like, oh, like it's kind of wonky, but honestly, the Mammoth fit Utah. So.
Unreal. Have you talked to any of your friends? I know you're busy playing hockey up in Medicine Hat, haven't probably had a chance to go to a game, but I'm sure some of your buddies have been there. And what's their experience been like?
They love it. They're always talking to me like they want to see me in a Mammoth jersey in a few years, and I always laugh and joke about that. But they love it. They starting to love hockey. It's growing in Utah, and they love it, and it's probably one of their favorite sports to watch, is what I've been told. So.
Trevor Lewis with the LA Kings is one of just a few guys from our state who has made it to the NHL. Is he a guy that like you ever connected with or looked up to or knew about even growing up, an NHL player from Utah?
Yeah, he's the only name I heard from Utah. Obviously, I watch video and YouTube videos, and I wanted to learn about him because I was from Utah too, and he was the only guy from Utah. I've actually never connected with him, but seems like a great guy, and he another guy from Utah, so it's pretty awesome.
Let's go back to the mission again. Gino Cavallini, we got to give this guy some love. My kid again. We were with the Junior Coyotes. We've hit and played you guys a ton. The worst jerseys first on the planet. I mean, those colors. I mean, you can't miss it. And I mean, these teams, Fultz, they were like powerhouses back then. And
Are they green? Is it
Green,
like
Yeah,
neon green?
they're neon green.
neon green. Like
Yeah.
it's bad enough that they put up 8 on the board and they spank you 8-1 when you're a
Yeah.
Coyote. But just talk about that program and talk about the year that you put up 95. All of a sudden, things kind of clicked for you clearly, right?
Yeah, I mean, when you see the neon green jerseys on the ice, you kind of know you're in trouble. So, nobody else has neon green jerseys beside Mission. And Gio runs it so well. He recruits everybody. He recruits the right people. He like the Mission is in my opinion, the best AAA organization in the country. And yeah, that 15-year, me and my teammates had, we won the national championship that year too. We had a pretty stacked team. Pretty sure we had more than 6 guys go play junior after that, after that 15-0 year. And it was a team effort, and we had one goal of mine was to win a national championship.
That's amazing. Well, you've been doing nothing but winning these last couple of years now, because we haven't even really gotten to your gold medal with the U18s and Team USA over in Europe with the Hlinka Gretzky Cup. Well, had you ever been over to Czech or Slovakia or anything like that before?
I have. I think that was my 3rd time going over to that part of Europe. So
Wow.
I've been there.
No
I've been
big
there a
deal.
few times. Yeah, we went to the same exact spot last year for U17 and 5 Nations, which was another USA tournament. We stayed in the same hotel. We stayed in the same rink too. So yeah, back-to-back years. So,
What was this go around like with this group? You guys beat Sweden to win the tournament, and to play with those guys must have been an awesome and educational experience for you.
yeah, it was amazing. With only having a week notice of who the team was, and you gotta bind together right at the get go. It was an amazing group. We all bonded right away. We all honestly loved each other right away. We did some team activities that grew us closer, and that's honestly what I think won us the tournament, was how close we were.
So I got to go back again to the Mission. You had that great year. You get drafted by the Medicine Hat Tigers. No brainer for them to take you. I think you're the only American player on that team, but there's so many options now. I mean, but why did you choose Medicine Hat? I mean, I know my son was a lot the same coming from Phoenix. He went to Lethbridge in his first year. But now everything's kind of opened up with the NCAA. What's the chatter around the locker room with all that going on? I know your stud McKenna is now going to, where is it, Penn State, I believe. So things are kind of changing the landscape a bit.
Yeah, obviously, I talked to my family, and growing up, I wanted to play college hockey. And I had talked with my agent and my parents, and my agent was like, this college thing's probably going to happen in the CHL. And at the time, I went up to MedHat twice. I met the boys. I met Willie and skated with them a few times, and I loved MedHat. Great coaching, great facilities, great people that run the program, and honestly a great team. And going into MedHat and that decision, I wanted to win another championship, and it wasn't hard for me to make that decision, to be honest.
I saw a video of I think it was the Red Deer Rebels like getting this incredible upgrade. Their room looked unbelievable, and you see a lot of these videos and these kind of video tours of college locker rooms and the facilities and the training facilities that these teams have. And I feel like that's starting to transition to the WHL, where a lot of money is getting put into the facilities and things like that. Have you guys, I guess, have you seen that, or do you expect to see that in places like Medicine Hat or just around the rest of the dub?
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of stuff going on. Like the Dub's getting better. You're getting guys from the US that want to come up too, and I think that's what's growing the WHL and giving them the opportunity to build new rinks and new facilities, new workout rooms, new locker rooms, all that stuff. So I do think the WHL and the CHL is going to grow because of the opening of the NCAA, and I think that's where that money could come from.
So it's kind of like the PGA, right? Like all of a sudden now the NCAA is taking CHL players, right? There's no decision, which I think needed to happen a 1,000 years ago, for these young kids, 13, 14 years old, making a decision that, okay, I'm going to give up my Division I eligibility and go play in the CHL. Right. That should just never have been a thing, right? And now I think it's forcing the owners of the Western Hockey League teams and the CHL to put more money into their programs. I mean, these kids were getting paid the same money I was making when I was playing in the Western Hockey League 30 whatever years ago. So things have to change. But is there any chatter in the locker room, like because of that, like opportunities now to go to the NCAA? I'm sure you guys are getting hit on by all those Division I teams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, obviously a little chatter. And obviously you want the best for your teammates too. The NCAA is probably the next level from the CHL. And I'd say it's probably the next closest to the AHL too is the NCAA now, because of the CHL players that are going to go. And if you get drafted by an NHL team and the NHL team wants you to develop in college, you'll get an NHL drafted stud that's going to go to college instead of either playing in the dub or playing in the AHL. So
you look at a lot of those college players and like they're big and strong men, right? They're in these NCAA weight programs. Do you do a lot of lifting and are you chucking the weights around in the summertime, or are you more on the ice?
No, I mean, I had a short summer this year. Honestly, I was more on the ice this year than I was in the gym. And then I had Hlinka. I trained
winning gold medals, right?
He wasn't in the barber shop. We know that. I love it. Keep that thing rolling.
Not once this year. But yeah, I mean, lifting is a big part. You want to get stronger for the next level, and there's always another step for hockey. You either got to get bigger, or you either got to work on your skating or your shot or passing. There's always something new that you have to train.
So what is it for you? I mean, I know you're 16 last year, going to be a 17-year-old player this year, but I heard your draft isn't until 27. So that would, I think, make you a late birth year in that category. But for you, what are the next steps in your development? What are you trying to focus in on to obviously be a top draft pick? For the Mammoths?
For me, I think yeah. I think for me, it's my scoring ability. I gotta put some pucks in the net. If it's either getting gritty or working on my shot, and then obviously getting my skating dialed in. Trying to be the best skater out there on the ice and trying to be the quickest and the strongest. That's what you want from a hockey player. So probably my shot and my skating.
Is there a player you try to model your game after, or just a favorite player you have that you look up to in the NHL?
You know, I when I was younger, is Sidney Crosby. Obviously, he's amazing. He's how I want to play as a 200-foot guy. And then realizing how I play, like I like Patrice Bergeron. You know, even though he's retired, I
Oh.
still watch a few videos and love his 200-foot game and him winning championships too. So I want to be like I want to play and be like Patrice Bergeron.
Stay away
Coaches
from
and GM love that answer.
Yeah, stay
right
away
there.
from my
That's
videos.
a good
That's
answer.
that's all I can tell you. Don't watch how I play. We had a video go a little bit viral the other day, and I'm just getting worked over because I was a pest. And I used to, on the face-off, stick my stick in the guy's glove, right? And like he'd take a stupid
Yeah.
penalty because he'd be pissed off. And people went crazy. They're like, "Oh my god, this is a bad look. This is a bad take. How is this guy not teaching them how to play hockey instead of being a pest?" So I'm gonna zip my mouth from now on.
Did you like going to the dub? I mean, you were what, 15, 16 this last year. You're going up against guys who are 5 years older than you, 20 years old, and they've gone through like big changes in their body. They're a lot bigger and stronger. So what was the adjustment, especially like in playoffs and with fighting and stuff like that? I mean, that's got to be really hard for a young guy coming in and trying to make an impact.
Yeah, it was pretty hard. You know, obviously playing from AAA going to the dub is a really, really big jump. And I'd say the biggest one was the speed for sure. Just how quick everything is, how quicker you gotta make decisions, how quicker you gotta use your feet to get into open space, or how much less time you have. It was a big adjustment. And then even going into playoffs, I was a little nervous because I wasn't sure what it was. And I talked to Oasis and I asked him, and he's like, just play your game. It's not much different. Play your game. You're big enough. You're physical enough. You're fast enough. You'll be okay.
Obviously, growing up in Utah, just I guess talk to us about the grassroots. I know that's something that Ryan Smith and Ashley are trying to really focus in on, getting young kids involved in hockey because it is the best game in the world, as you know. But you didn't have a lot of support back in your day. What would you like to see more of, maybe?
I think getting some more rinks around. It's pretty hard to find some skating. And then honestly, just seeing people want to get better, putting some more kids into hockey, trying to grow the sport, and that's what I want to do. I want to be a kid that these little kids look up to, and that puts them into hockey, and it grows the sport in Utah. So I just want to see some more kids play hockey and see some more rinks in Utah.
You know, we always see at these rinks the jerseys of guys who have gone on to do great things where that was their home rink, and maybe someday they'll have your number up there at Peaks Ice Arena down in Provo. Tyson was saying your draft year is what, 07? Does that ever creep into your head a little bit? Like maybe the Mammoth will take a look.
2027, I've got 2 more years. Obviously, it kind of creeps in my mind. I only have 2 more years. It's honestly pretty crazy until my draft. But it's been a dream since I was super little to get drafted, and I'm honestly super excited for it. So
I got to ask you. I watched Willie, your coach, for a number of years. He just seems so serious, so stoic behind that bench. But how has he helped you in your growth as a young hockey player?
he's awesome. He's probably one of the most competitive guys I've ever met. He loves winning so much. If he doesn't win, he's got a little temper. But he also expects the best out of players. He expects the best out of me. He expects me to take over my career and my development. And he'll give me the tools that I need. But yeah, he loves to win, and he's got 100% faith in his players. So he's an
How's the
amazing
squad
coach.
going to be? How's the squad going to be next year? I know you're going to take a much bigger role because some of the older guys kind of move on. That's the life in the Western Hockey League. But where do you see yourself?
I think we'll be really good. Our D-core's staying. We got really good goalies, and we picked up a lot of forwards this year. We picked up 5 U.S. kids this year, so I think I'm not the only U.S. kid this year, so that's pretty sweet. But yeah, I think we can go for it again. We got a strong decor. And then it's up to the leaders to build everybody together, and we gotta become a family this year. So I think we got another chance.
Well, Tyson won, was it 3 Mem Cups, Nasher?
I believe so. Yeah.
3?
Yeah.
3? Yeah,
Is
yeah,
that
you
good?
know.
Is that good? Is that good?
You got a long way to go,
Yeah,
James.
that's pretty.
We
That's
thank
pretty
you for
sick.
doing this, man. This has been awesome, and we can't wait to talk to you again soon. And good luck with camp here these next few weeks.
Yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it. And once again, congrats. The U.S. isn't used to winning gold, so congratulations on that gold medal. I hope to see
Yeah.
another sequel to the miracle.
Yeah, sounds great. Thank you.
See you, boys. Well, there you have it. What an interview. What a kid. I love it. I'm also a big part of Team USA, right? And what they're building. You talked about him winning the Hlinka Cup, scoring a real big goal in that tournament as well. He talked all about that. That was fascinating. But just Fultz, what more can you say about this kid?
Yeah, I mean, he seems like a character kid, well spoken, well educated. I don't know what the education's like down in Lehigh where he's from, or in Chicago maybe where he was playing AAA, or even in the Dub where he is in Medicine Hat. But man, like those school systems are phenomenal because he is so well read and well spoken for a 16-year-old. I would have been a marble mouth as a 16-year-old, stuttering over my words, not knowing what to say, but he's got that media training, and he's going to need it because he's going to continue. If he continues along this path, he's going to keep being in these interviews, and people are going to want to talk to him.
Oh, yeah. How about in the interview? He's in Medicine Hat, okay? So everyone in Utah who's watching this, I think when he tells the story, right, about him going to Medicine Hat, everyone's like, where the hell is Medicine Hat? Like, what kind of town is that? Up in Alberta, farming town, you can see for miles and miles and miles. But I didn't know it got that hot, actually, in Medicine Hat because we had some phone issues. His phone overheats in the interview. So, again, right, just add that to the pile of issues that we've had on the cast. But unreal kid. And if I'm the Utah Mammoth, I am keeping a close eye on this kid as he will be
Big body.
2027 draft eligible. So that'll be fun.
Well, it was a great interview with Schaeffer Gordon-Carroll and Tyson. We're coming up to that time. It's crazy to think that when we are talking next week, that next weekend, we're going to start having rookie camp conversations, and we're going to have guys in Mammoth jerseys out on the ice.
I can't wait. I cannot wait. I know you're looking good in the Nashcast. What is that, a hoodie? Is that a hoodie or is that?
It's the hoodie right here.
Yeah. See, we need golf shirts now. We need it all. I got mine on here. I cannot wait, Fultz, to see this bad boy flying around the Delta Center. I can't wait to see the Delta Center, right? All redone. I'm excited. I know you are. All the additions from Bill Armstrong. We talked all summer about those moves. And just really the kids getting older, right? I cannot wait to see Logan Cooley flying around, Dylan Gunther, and then all the additions. So it's going to be fun. This is going to be a team to be reckoned with, and playoffs, they're talking about it. I love to hear that because no player, no fan wants a rebuild. So this is fascinating. This team is out. They're on their way. So let's see if they can get it done.
Remember to subscribe to our channel on YouTube. You also have Nashcast Official on Instagram and Twitter. Follow us there for all our highlights and clips and all the extra fun stuff and shenanigans that Tyson gets up to. Maybe you'll see some slugs in his boathouse. See you next week, guys.